Hey friends, don't mind me. I'm just enjoying my True North Pure Energy Seltzer with 0 artificial flavors, colors, sugar, sweetener, or calories. Delicious.
Delicious.
True North, hit me up. I expect sponsorship money pronto. I found that stuff for like 50 cents in the grocery store. I wonder why it was 50 cents. Hey friends, Ash here. Welcome back to Gents. Hope you're doing well. Today we're talking about something completely unrelated to that, whatever that was. We're talking about fragrances that are sexy, sweet, warm, huge compliment pullers that I will never stop recommending because I personally love each and every one of these. Yeah, the good stuff. That's what we're talking about here today. I'll have all these fragrances linked down below me in the description, and believe it or not, I am not a floating, disembodied torso. Check this out. It's gonna blow your mind. Legs. Today's video is just, it's off the rails already, just how I like it. Where do we start today? Which fragrance? Let's start with this kingly looking bad boy right here, Scandal Le Parfum from Jean Paul Gaultier. I've talked about this before, I will talk about it some more. Scandal and Scandal Le Parfum are sometimes overlooked, but are some of the best compliment pulling fragrances on the market. The Le Parfum edition, this edition, I didn't mean to flip you off just now, this edition is a little bit more grown up than the original Scandal Pour Homme. Not quite as sweet as the OG, but still has a good amount of sweetness to it. So this has geranium, sandalwood, and tonka as some of the notes in the fragrance. Tonka being one of the more prominent of those three, or the most prominent of those three, and that's what's gonna give it that sweetness. Also has a little bit of an aromatic feel to it. It smells amazing in the air. This one is like twice as nice when you pick up a waft of it as you're moving around. The scent cloud, the scent trail that it leaves behind as you move, this smells fantastic. Also has enough of a classiness to it that you can wear this easily in more formal situations. Also a perfect date night fragrance. Just in general, this stuff will get the job done during fall and winter time about anywhere. And even though this is from Jean Paul Gaultier, which is a really well-known house, of course, and Scandal is really well-known by the fragrance community in the United States, this is not a best-selling fragrance, so it's not gonna be worn as much as some of the other more popular things out there. So it's also slightly unique in a way. Before we move to the next fragrance, a little shameless self-promotion. My other channel, Extra Gents, if you want more fragrance content, check that out. Got reviews on there, lists on there, just random stuff on there. So if you just want to overdose on fragrance content, check out Extra Gents. Can't even say my own channel name. But that's okay, because I have True North Pure Energy Seltzer. And this stuff here is plant-based. It has immunity support, non-GMO, gluten-free. And I'm pretty sure it helps my brain. Delicious. And here are some fragrance codes before we move to that next fragrance. If you shop at any of these websites, use these codes to save yourself some money. Newest code is from the Perfume box. The code is Gents for 10% off. We got a lot of fragrances there, including clones, then of course GS11 at fragflex.com, among others. Next fragrance is Angel Share from By Kilian. Whew. This stuff is magnetic. People are drawn to it, and it's extremely popular. This is one of the better selling unisex / niche fragrances in the world. A lot of cognac here. You also have praline, vanilla, cinnamon, extremely sweet, but with a nice warmth to it. That booziness here really elevates it, makes it smell classy, but also extremely sexy, which is what this whole list is about. Now, being a niche fragrance, it is more on the pricey side compared to most of the other scents in today's list. There are a bunch of clones of this out there, whether you swing that way or not. You know, some people swing pretty hard toward the clone direction, other people do not, and that's okay. You want to clone, you clone. You don't want to? Don't. It's okay. You're not hurting anybody. It's all right. Some of the more popular clone fragrances are going to be Kamra by Lattafa. Then you have Sharaf Blend by Zamaya. Those are both very well done and unmistakable when you see the presentation what those are cloning. Then there's one that I got in not that long ago. It's called Celerio Epic. It's from Dumont Paris. Comes in a red bottle, so it doesn't look like this, but that one is also extremely well done. That one, I would say, if you get that in, spray it, but then let it sit for like at least a few days. It really opens up a bunch. Initially, it comes across like a more spicy take on this, but then once you let it sit, it actually gets much closer to just smelling straight up like this, only stronger. But Angel Share, this stuff is amazing. Let's go cheap on the next one with Ferragamo's Uomo. Yeah, I've been talking about this ever since it came out. I do really enjoy this fragrance. I like everything about it. I like the presentation. I like how affordable it is. I like the performance. I like the coffee that's in here. It's another one kind of like Scandal over here that I've spoken about being sort of an under the radar compliment puller, because for a lot of people, when they think about a compliment getting fragrance, they might think of Sauvage or Y Eau de Parfum. And not that those don't get compliments, they absolutely do. But stuff like this sometimes doesn't get recognized quite as much, even though it's just about as good, at least as far as that compliment factor goes, especially when it's chilly out. So as I mentioned, a coffee in here, but it's more actually a tiramisu note. So it's a sweet take on a coffee fragrance. There is also Uomo's signature in this line that has more of a roast coffee, but the coffee here is, again, a little sweeter. Also has tonka, sandalwood, cardamom, and pepper as some of the other notes in the fragrance. It has good performance, as I mentioned before, great versatility in fall and winter time. And for the price, this is a great bang for your buck. They have pretty much abandoned this line. They're coming out with all their new Ferragamo leather fragrances. I do hope that they bring this back, this line, you know, something new in it, breathe some new life into it, but not looking good. So I mentioned Y over here, Y Eau de Parfum being the most popular, but this guy, Y Live, oof, that has always worked for me. So well that it just made me cough a frog out of my throat. Nice. So Y Live, if you wanna dumb it down, is kind of like a blending, a mix of Invictus and Y. And smells awesome. Yeah, even coming from a self-professed Invictus hater like myself, talking about the original Invictus. Let's not bring Victory Elixir into this, or Victory, that's my jam. But the original Invictus, when it first came out, I was a bit of a hater. Yes, a player hater. Now, to be fair to me, for a time, man, it felt like every fragrance that was coming out smelled like Invictus, and it got tiring. So this is just to say Invictus not always my fave, that original bubblegum DNA. But this perfect blend of Y and Invictus, yes, very sweet, little bubblegummy, but extremely fresh. It is a certified compliment monster. Y Live is just as good as Y Eau de Parfum at pulling compliments. This thing has great versatility in spring, summer, or fall. I know some people in summer would say, nah, too sweet. It works in summer, trust me. I have worn this in summer, and this is one of my biggest unsolicited compliment pullers ever. So Y Live, this is the stuff. Let's class it up a little bit next with Ombre Noir from Lal Elixir. Look at that, just a beautiful looking little bottle there. Understated, simple, but well done. The cap, big. It clicks. I would be a great salesperson. Have me at Macy's or something and they have this fragrance for some reason. Guys, you gotta come in. You see this cap? It's a big cap, okay? And you see that? You can pick it up by that cap. And there's a design, got a little sticker. Look at the color, that's good. That's a nice color, but this is really gonna blow your mind. Check this out. It sprays, you just point it wherever you want it to go, buy it. This one, at the price you can find it for from discounters, is a steal. The quality is very high, as you would expect from Lal Elixir. It's not going to be as versatile as any of these that I've talked about so far. For your average person, these ones will probably appeal to them more. But to somebody really into fragrances, something like this may actually be the most appealing out of all the ones I've talked about so far. Good amount of notes in here, has fig, mint, and bergamot off the top. You may look at that and think, oh, well, how'd that work? Those are all really fresh, and that doesn't look too fresh. But those aren't really the focal point. It's the warm, rich spices that are in here, a little bit of a resinous sweetness as well. You've got cinnamon in here, which is quite prominent, along with tobacco leaf, cognac, myrrh, even papyrus. There's a decent amount going on here. Just a fantastic smelling, high quality scent, made more for the evenings in fall and winter time, but something that also has a good sex appeal to it. It's going to be more middle-aged and older, but in that age range, this stuff really stands out. It's unique, decently complex, but still wearable. The most wanted up next. This guy is one of the better fragrances in this style that's on the market right now. So this has cardamom, toffee, and amberwood as the notes in the fragrance, a very simplistic note breakdown. And this is similar to Stronger With You. So it's in that style. That's what I meant when I said that before. My nose hair is like sticking on this. Ooh. It has a nice, fresh spiciness when you first spray it on. It is sweet and warm, of course, but that comes out even more as the fragrance dries. So this one has a very appealing opening that is kind of something to lead you into the dry down. It's got really good performance, lasts a long time, projects very well. It's extremely versatile in fall and winter time. You can wear this about anywhere. And then the Le Parfum version of this is also very, very good. This one is usually a little easier to find than that one. Also a little bit cheaper than that one. There's more of a slight smokiness to the Parfum iteration. So maybe if you want something that's not quite as sweet, you would go with that one. But for a lot of people, they prefer that little bit extra sweetness, which is where this comes in. So the most wanted, gotta put that in there. Kind of wish that the wanted fragrances went for what they used to go for, but no. Back in the day, the original wanted and wanted by night, you could get from discounters for just about nothing. Honestly, under $30. They were ultra cheap, ultra cheap. And as time has gone on, that has changed. They've gotten more expensive. And frankly, the most wanted is decently successful. A lot of people buy them. And so that keeps the prices from dipping too much because there's a good amount of demand with this one and also the Parfum. I believe that wanted Eau de Parfum, it's newer than this one, but it's cheaper at discounters because not as much demand for that one. Yeah, most wanted is better. Where to go next? We will do this one, Leighton from Parfums de Marly. It's an obvious choice, I know, but this is a fragrance that, I don't know, I just don't ever see myself saying, oh, Leighton? That stuff sucks. It's not gonna happen. Unless they horrifically butcher a reformulation or something, I don't see that happening. Now, Leighton is a little pricey, of course, because it's a niche fragrance, and it used to be that you could get Leighton for a really good discount from discounters, but not usually anymore. Sometimes you'll be able to find this one at discounters for a decent price, but it sells out pretty quickly usually when that happens. Used to be, it was pretty much everywhere. So what happened? Well, PDM partnered up with pretty much all the discounters, and so now they carry it at close to retail. I guess that's a win for Parfums de Marly and an L for us. But that doesn't take away from how this smells. It smells awesome. Love the way this one comes across, and it is another fragrance that in cooler weather, you can wear it anywhere. This stuff is just about perfect for cool weather. The quality is high, but then it has designer sensibilities in terms of that wearability, that mass appeal. So you have in here apple and lavender off the top. Those are gonna be some of the most prominent notes in the fragrance when you first spray this one on. A lot of vanilla in here that comes out pretty quickly. You also have cardamom, sandalwood, pepper, and geranium as some of the other supporting notes in the scent. It's very hard to find anything in here to say bad about how it smells because it's just made to smell as appealing as possible to as many people as possible, and it does. There's also Leighton Exclusif if you want a version of this that's a little bit more bold and slightly animalic. And then if you don't have Leighton money, but you want to smell like Leighton, you can get Detour Noir from Al Haramain, which is very close to this for much less. And then Dusk by the Woods Collection is also a good alternative to this one. Okay, we talked a little bit about Stronger With You over here. Let's do it again. Stronger With You, absolutely. So this one is my favorite from the Stronger With You line. Only issue is in the US. Difficult to find. Sells out pretty quickly at discounters, and when it's in stock, it's still not cheap. Usually $120 or so. It's worth it, but I know that for some people, especially with everything right now with inflation and how expensive things are, 120 bucks can be tough to swallow. I know other people are like, 120 bucks, ha ha ha. That's nothing to me, my good man. I spent that on caviar I put into my Frosted Flakes this morning. But yeah, 120 bucks can be a lot when you can find other fragrances that are pretty nice for like 40. But like I said, I think it's worth it. It's a fantastic smelling scent. Once again, great performance. Big compliment puller. Rum, vanilla, lavender, and chestnut, some of the notes in the fragrance here. As I said, for me, my favorite of the Stronger With You line, the one that I would go for if I could have only one, but there are a lot of other iterations in this line that would work quite well for a lot of you out there. Also, I'll highlight Stronger With You Intensely, the original Stronger With You, because that one's the cheapest, easiest to find in the US and will get you started in the line. So if you like that DNA when you smell the first one, then you can start checking out other ones. If you hate it, maybe it's not a line for you. And then Stronger With You Leather and Oud are also really good. Also really good. My brain was misfiring. Oh man, I just feel like I need another drink of True North Pure Energy Seltzer because this stuff, it's grapefruit lemonade flavor. And I'll tell you what, this is organic plant-based energy blend with ginseng, caffeine guarana, and guayusa. And I just feel like if I drink this, my brain's gonna be... Next up, Lal Elixir. Wow, I love it. It's gold. Wow, what a nice fragrance. It's got a good look. I wonder how it smells. Wow. It's good. Good for me, good for me. I feel this is the pinnacle of the Lal line. Can they do better? I mean, technically anything is possible, but part of me feels like I'm internally getting myself ready to be let down. Like a new Lal comes out and it's gonna be just barely tweaked, you know, just like a tiny change from that, and I'll go, come on guys, now I am disappointed. So you have lavender and mint off the top, gonna tie that in a little bit with the original Lal. It has also vanilla in here and honey, pretty good amount. Also tonka and tobacco, though the tobacco is not a big focal point of the fragrance. It is another one that has a great depth to it. As soon as you spray it on, it's lively, but it also has a nice heaviness to it in the sense that it sticks around for a while, but that liveliness, that pop that it has keeps it from feeling just like something, you know, that's just kind of stuck on you. Not a great descriptor there. Anyway, it smells really good. Next, Infrared Spice Bomb Eau de Parfum. Spice Bomb Infrared Eau de Parfum. When this first came out, it annoyed me. Why? Because they have issues with their freaking bottles. So what happened with this one was the first bottle I got in had leaked horrifically, just basically destroyed everything up here. I could tell immediately. As soon as I cut open the box, I could smell this very strongly. Then I got in a second bottle, same thing. Had to get a third bottle, and that's this one. And knock on wood, doesn't leak. So this one has cinnamon, it has chili pepper, it has resins as some of the notes in the fragrance. Also pink pepper, leather, and woods in here. It has a decent amount of spice to it, unlike the Night Vision fragrances, which were more just sweet without the spice. And while this one smells really good right off the bat, it grows on you. This is one of those fragrances, the more you wear it, you just really grow to appreciate it. That little bit of woodiness that's in there comes out more as it dries down and becomes more noticeable. The leather adds a nice masculine touch that blends together very well with the sweeter spices that are in here off the top. Just extremely well done, good performance, and big compliment puller, as all these are. So that one will end it. These 10 right here, you will probably be seeing for the next forever until they're discontinued, at which point I will give them a Viking funeral. Thank you guys for hanging with me. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys later.